Coach, what have you seen from this UAB defense? I saw that they did a really good job defensively against a pretty good quarterback at Arkansas. What have you seen from them?
Yeah, I mean they are um long, big. It's a bigger, longer defense. And they just kind of do what they do, based out of a 4-3. They'll pressure a little bit here and there, mix up the coverages. They played really hard versus Arkansas. That's the thing that sticks out to me is just their length. They're very rangy, and at every position, like up front. I mean, you're the two defensive ends, 6'6" and 6'5". They're both around 250. The two interior guys, 6'4", 305, 310. Even the linebackers are all 6'2" or longer. The will linebacker, 15'6'5", according to this. Safeties are 6'1". One of the corners is 6'3". It's just a lot of length.
When you have a first road game in this offense, if you implement it for these guys, this will be the first time that they've run it on the road. Any challenges or pretty much the same?
Um, uh, every weekend's a challenge. I mean, but as far as being on the road, I just think overall in general, you got to do a good job, having laser sharp focus and being in a different atmosphere and having a different schedule. And just we've gotten pretty comfortable at home for 3 weeks. So and I'll learn about that too. A lot of these places we're going to play, I've never coached in, never been to. Friday's schedule will be a little different with traveling and when we practice. So I don't, as far as how loud it would be, I think it was pretty loud in our stadium Saturday, and they seem to handle that fairly well. So I don't anticipate having to make adjustments in that regard.
Watching the game on Saturday, a couple different times when your backs went out of bounds downfield, you could see in the camera shot a lineman almost right with them. That is really getting downfield, isn't it?
Our kids are playing hard. They're there. They're running. Every kid takes a lot of pride in trying to be the guy that makes the touchdown block, or whatever. So the effort, I love coaching here because of how hard these kids play and how important it is to them. And so they're playing with a lot of confidence right now. And they're playing hard, and it's fun. They're having fun. You can see that when you're having fun, you play harder. Those big boys getting down the field, that fires me up. And everybody trying to do their job at a high level.
Thanks.
Wags.
Well, Drew, just talk about the spectacular performance of the offense. I mean, that was a defense that had been very stingy up to that point. It had been dominant against Florida State. I mean, I think a lot of Navy football fans were just amazed by what they saw. I know you expect these things, but nonetheless, the point total and the yardage total had to be pretty impressive considering the caliber of competition.
Yeah, if you'd told me we were going to score 7 touchdowns and have 500 yards of offense, I think I would have taken it. Our kids executed at a high level, and I thought we had a good plan. And when you go back and watch the film, it's Memphis playing. They're running, they're fast, it's all that. But I think we were able to. We talked a lot about last week making them, think one more step and having to see one more thing, and try to, use their speed, to try to hit them out the back door on some things. But our kids played at a high level. We broke tackles. We made plays down the field. I thought, obviously, Eli and Chat were outstanding, and where Alex ran the ball really well between the tackles, and our tight ends, did well. Our offensive line blocked really well. I mean, they really, against a really good top 25 in the country type defense, they blocked them, and put a hat on a hat. And obviously our quarterback played very well. And, I'm amazed at how I didn't realize how good of a runner Blake was going to be. We knew he was fast. We knew he had ability, but until you never, we don't ever tackle our quarterbacks in practice. He is elusive and able to make cuts very quickly without losing speed. And he's making really good decisions in the passing game. I would like for us to start a little bit better. That first series we had an opportunity there. We missed it just a little bit on the first play. But after the first series, I think our kids for 5 straight series, it was, they executed for touchdowns. And I can't say enough about just our offensive staff, just the collaboration that goes on in the game planning and how we've been able to just put things together. We got really good coaches on our offensive staff, and between Ivan Jasper and Tommy Laurendine and Jason McDonald, really Mick Yukatis having all that experience with the option game, and then obviously Jay's doing an unbelievable job coaching offensive line. Dave Cole, the 2 guys. So Jay and Dave, I brought with me. I mean, our snipes are playing at a high level. They're getting coached really well. Our tight ends are playing at a high level. Coach Williams is coach. I mean, so it's everybody's bringing something to the table. We're having fun as a staff, we've been able to, make this a hybrid type offense that does a lot of things and, gives people a lot of different looks. And we're, you get nervous that maybe you're trying to do too much if we won't execute anything well. But so far the kids have been able to do a great job with that. So it's a lot of fun coaching. And the kids, when they go make plays like that, like they did, I mean, the catch Chat made on the wheel route and breaking a tackle on the touchdown run, what Eli's doing down the field, the kids making throws and catches, making blocks, making runs in space. It makes it look like you're calling some good stuff when they execute like that, right? So just really pleased with what they're doing and the whole staff and how everything's working together. And we've got, there's going to be some hard stuff come up here. Okay. There's going to be some challenges. There's going to be, I don't think there's going to be adversity coming that I'm really curious to see if we handle it really well. I think we will. I think kids will do that. But I'm proud of these young men, really proud of how they're playing and how they're having fun together.
So you echoed Coach Newberry's sentiments as far as Blake being a better runner than maybe you thought. Does that change your mindset? I mean, he's, with these breakaway runs he's having, does it kind of say to yourself, okay, well, that we can now utilize the quarterback as a weapon, as a runner?
Well, we've always wanted to do that. And we thought we could. You want to. Obviously, he got loose some Saturday. And he showed his speed, and you want to make sure you have those wrinkles in your package, but you don't want to also run him every snap, right? You don't, so we got a lot of the thing I think that's making us, tough to defend right now is that you can't really key in on one guy, right? So, the snipes make plays, the B-backs make plays, the X receiver, the Y tight end, we're trying to be balanced, trying to build, one play building off another. And, it's who do you keep, everybody's, a lot of kids are making plays. So I think that, when you're playing quarterback, you're kind of playing point guard, your job is to get it to the open guy, or if they let you, take it to the hoop yourself, and I think Blake's doing a good job with that.
So I see where the Memphis coach, Ryan Silverfield, said that they identified 22 plays that they had not previously seen on tape. Do you have 25 more new ones that you can show UAB?
Ooh, really? Okay. I don't know. When people say that, I don't know, that maybe it was the formation was a little different or something, right? But 25. Wow. Okay. Well, we're gonna try to put wrinkles in there every week. I mean, we're gonna try to formation you and you want to keep it simple for your players and make it complex for the defense. So you try to run the same things from different looks, right? So maybe we had done a little of that differently, and maybe that's what he was talking about. Hopefully that's what it looks like. We want it to look complex. We want it to to look like we're doing a lot of things that you haven't seen. Obviously that gets you flat-footed defensively, and that we have to be that way, right? We've got to, I mean, that, that Memphis defense have been giving up 68 yards a game rushing on average throughout the season. And we were able to do 360, and a lot of it's just, because you're making really good athletes and a really good defense have to think a little bit more. And that's certainly what we want to try to do.
Well, last one for me for now, but is that kind of, in your experience, you put the American Athletic Conference on notice with the numbers you put up so far, but that they're all scouting you carefully, but you've been doing this a long time with this offense. That actually is in some ways to your benefit. The more they scout, the more you can throw wrinkles off of what you've done previously to make that scout nullify that scout.
Well, you hope so. You put together a game plan, and sometimes that game plan just kind of, it fits and it works, and you guess right on a few things, and the kids make plays, and the more plays they make, the harder they are to defend, because now you got your eye discipline defensively. You're trying to, oh gosh, what if he does this? What if he does that? So we want, now look, somebody's going to defend us really well at some point, and maybe this weekend, because they got really good players on defense. And so, while while we really look good Saturday, and there's a lot of good things, a lot of things went right. And so we've got to, like I said, there's some adversity coming. We've got to be able to handle that. We got to be able to adjust as coaches, and the players have to play through some things. And but we're certainly going to try to do everything we can. Our job here as coaches is to put our players in really good situations and try to give them the best chance they can to be successful. And you feel that responsibility, especially at a place like this, because the kids just are so deserving of success, and so you want to do everything you can to put them in good situations. And heck, sometimes you can try to do too much. The kids need to be able to go play fast. Our young men need to be able to go play fast and really understand what they're doing. And but we certainly want to, be difficult to find out there, and have things that build. And so we're going to do everything we can as a staff to be a pain. We're going to do everything we can.
Pete.
Coach, I know we do all these catapult numbers and all this other stuff, but football speed and execution at football speed is a different deal. What impressed you the most about the way the kids executed at football speed? Because they just look to be a half step, full step, and in some cases even more steps faster than the defense at what they were doing. And clearly you've got some guys that only need a step and they're running away from people.
Well, we have some kids who can run, and when you look at us, maybe some of our guys are a couple inches short to, for the, for the, the big schools of the world to be on, or 10 pounds light. But we got some kids who can play, so, and what we've really talked about is, if you're going to make a mistake, let's make it full speed. We didn't play perfectly. We made some mistakes in the game. I made some bad calls in the game. But the kids are playing without fear of failure. That's what we want, no fear of failure, and go attack. And if you mess up, man, if you're going to block the wrong guy, block him really well, and let the rest of it take care of itself. So I don't want them worried about making mistakes. I want to play smart. I don't want them to put the ball in harm's way. We got to do fundamental things. But we have really harped on, look, man, go play, have fun, attack them, be disciplined. Okay. We didn't turn the ball over again. That's huge. Don't beat yourself, right? We did have 2 penalties, but that's not very many. We not one holding call, and then at the end, obviously, we had a false start there. But don't beat ourselves. But go play free, go play wide open. Our kids are smart. Our kids are tough. And that's what we want for them. And that's what they've been doing. And I want them to do it no matter what the score is. I want them to do it, whether we're playing Notre Dame or Bucknell, whoever it is. I want them to go play fast, and play wide open and free. So I think they've been doing a good job with that.
You mentioned your staff earlier. We've seen a lot of these players at times, even last year. But what we didn't know was the depth of the tight end room and what it's given you through the first 3 games. Can you just describe what John has been able to do and how that has helped you as a play caller be able to even expand the package more with trust that those young men are going to be able to go out and make a play for you?
Well, we've always, having a tight end is a great weapon in our system. Okay. And that's very important. And, I think as Navy began to, even a year ago, begin to move towards, wanting to use tight ends, obviously you got to start recruiting that and finding that and developing that. So, obviously moving Cody Howard from a receiver spot to there, and he can do it now. He is a good blocker. He's put on muscle and he's 230. But he still has the receiver skill set. So obviously he brings things to the table. And with him being out the first 2 games, that allowed Scully and Jake to really get to play. Okay. And now those guys have gotten some experience and some confidence. So now you feel like, wow, now we got a little depth in there. Right. And John's done a phenomenal job with those guys. They're blocking at a high level. They're making catches when they're being asked to. They're doing a good job, and now obviously Cody adds a little bit more of a dimension there as well because we can move him around. So I'm very excited about that room, and even then the kids we've signed that are the young guys that are going to be coming along. And I think as we recruit, we'll be able to sign guys that see how they can fit within what we're doing, be that hybrid kind of guy that can line up all over the place. And so couldn't be more pleased with the job that John's done with those guys. Those kids are playing. I texted him, Sunday. I just said, man, those guys are getting better, and a lot of that is the way John's coaching them. And then those kids want to get better. I mean, it's a collaboration there of, building confidence and getting better fundamentally. And so absolutely, that's turned into a strength of our team.
You mentioned overcoming adversity. Obviously losing Trey, is one of the first pieces of adversity of
Sure.
the season. Just thoughts on the way Nichols and Bhutan performed in their roles with obviously more responsibility this week.
Yeah, thrilled. Obviously that was in the back of my mind. You're going, how are they going to, how those guys are going to respond, with Bhutan moving out to tackle, and obviously Cam, coming into guard, and those guys didn't flinch. They played well, and they attacked it. They didn't play passive, and obviously there's things we can get better on. And Cam, especially, the more he plays, I think the more the better he's going to get. And he's got family bragging rights right now,
Yeah.
So that's good. I'm sure you got to talk a little to his brother there. But we've got to continue to develop depth there. But the job that Jay and Tommy are doing there too, coaching those kids has been phenomenal. And Jason McDonald, we got 3 line coaches there that are really doing a great job, because we're doing a lot, and that's a lot for offense. I mean, it's a lot of stuff, and those linemen just kind of handle it, right? And our line coaches are, oh God, you're gonna put in one more thing, huh? You're gonna put in another thing for us to, but they've done a phenomenal job.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Alex Murphy from Baltimore Press Box.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Going good.
Good. I got 2 things, and apologies if I ask anything that's already been asked before. The first thing I wanted to ask was just the play of Blake so far this season, how he's looked under center for you. I know he's been very effective, both in the pass game and the running game, but from what you've seen out of these first couple games, how have you felt about his play?
I've been pretty excited about it. And I think he's just going to get better. I mean, when you really look at it, how much college football has he played? Last year he played a little bit and had the injury. This fall he played 2 quarters in the first game, and pretty much 2 quarters, maybe a little more. And then he's played, another 8 quarters, or really 3 quarters in the second game and 4 quarters in the third game. So, I think he's just going to get better. I think he feels very comfortable right now with what he's being asked to do. I think he really understands. He's making good decisions, and he's showing how versatile he is. I mean, we talk about in our system, you got to be a pro style QB and an option style QB all wrapped up in one, and he's been able to handle that. The improvement in his throwing is dramatic, absolutely dramatic. So now he's going to be tested. I mean, all of us, he's been, it's going really well for him. A lot of that's him, and a lot of that's just guys around him executing. But I couldn't be more excited. I mean, that kid's a good football player, and he's playing with confidence, and he's making good decisions, and his teammates really believe in him. And he handles all that very well, because he's had a lot of, Coach Newberry talks about choking on sugar. He's had a lot of sugar poured on him this week after the way he played. So he's got to be able to handle that. Okay. We got to be able to handle keeping an even keel and realizing what makes us successful. And that's the way we prepare and the way we go execute, and always keeping an edge, always being able to, make yourself the underdog, right? And you've got something to prove every week. And, Blake as an individual has to keep that going, and us and we as an offense and as a team have to keep that kind of mindset going. But proud of him and the way he's playing. He's been a problem. I didn't know, you kind of were excited preseason about what he might be. And he's certainly exceeding, all expectations. And I know he's just going to keep getting better.
And then the second thing I have is, I guess, adding on top of that, with passing, becoming an additional force within this offense for you guys. What sort of a new dimension do you think that's added specifically this season, just knowing that you guys are now just as effective in the passing game, though, maybe not as much as some other teams, but for you guys, definitely quite a bit, but having that be as effective as it's been in the run game for you guys, just what sort of new dimension has that added to the offense as a whole?
Well, we've always said in this system, in our offense places we've been in the past, when we can be efficient throwing the football, then we can be a problem for people. And but everything starts with the run game, and everything builds off of that. So a lot of the things that we were able to hit in the game Saturday are direct result of being able to have some success in the run game. Okay, so we when you're at a service academy, when you're at the Naval Academy, you got to be able to run the football. You got to be different. You got to be unique. But it certainly is good to know that our quarterback can make throws, and we can execute the things that fit our offense. And it has to be a fit. It has to fit within our system. We can't just go out and be air raid. That's not what we're gonna. You're not running, all those kind of concepts. While there, I say not many. There's some that built in here and there, but everything's got to be systematic and fit, and making that defense have to think, making them have to, look at a shift, look at a motion they've got to play assignment football. And that really opens up passing game concepts, and then you've got to be able to hit them. You got to be able to execute them. It doesn't do you any good if your quarterback misses it or players don't catch it. And right now our guys are in the right place, and for the most part, and our quarterback's executing those things. So it makes us better when we can be efficient in the passing game. And that you got to be, if somebody takes one thing away, you've got to have an answer for that. So we hope we're able to do that weekly, for our players.
That's all I got. Thanks, Coach.
Got about 6 minutes left, so give me your best question, Scott Wyckoff.
Coach Cronic, we talk a lot with you about the development of this new offense that you've brought to Navy. How about the development of the Cronic family coming north up to Maryland? how things going now that everyone's back in school and you've gotten settled in a bit? I know you spent a lot of time at Ricketts, but how's the development family wise?
We love it here. This is a family place. The way Coach Newberry is he's a family man. Our staff is a family. The whole athletic department, I think there's very much a feel here. And just the campus in general. I just think this is a very close brotherhood here. We love our church that we're attending here at Mariners Church. Pastor McKinney, who's a former Navy football player, was a captain years ago. We really, that's a big part of my family is our faith. And, so we were excited about the relationships we built there at church. And so we're having a good time. And, we just feel very fortunate, very blessed to be a part of this, and to be around such great people all the time. And like I said, our faith is important to us and we believe we're in the right place, trying to serve. And there's no better, it's such our players just being able, it gives you a good feeling to see them have success, see them in that locker room, after that game. That means a lot to me, it means a lot to my wife and my kids. My middle son, Eli, desperately wants to come to school here next year. I mean, this, my 12-year-old, he's already talking about that. And, we very much feel at home here. Now, it's a little cooler than what we're used to, and it's probably hit, I'm sure November we'll get, we'll get out there and I'll have to put a couple sweat tops on, but it's a nice summer though, for sure. That's good. And our family's been able to, my parents, her parents, have been able to come up. My mom was here this past weekend. My dad was here the previous weekend. Her parents were here the previous 2 weekends. I mean, so in today's world, our family, our extended family, the boys' grandparents are very important in our lives, and they've been able to be here. So it's really been a family deal for everybody to be able to experience this.
Awesome. Thanks.
Pastor McKinney is an all-time great person.
He is awesome.
He's unbelievable. Wags. Best question.
Well, I guess, there's everybody, you mentioned everybody patting Blake on the back, but right now they're patting the whole offense on the back. And I'm seeing, Dr. Drew memes or whatever they call it. I don't know that stuff. Dr. Drew memes on social media, Horvath for Heisman on social media. How do you try to keep the focus and let them know we haven't done anything yet? Like Coach Newberry said, they don't give out trophies after 3 games normally.
Yeah, we talked about that, and it's success is winning, and those things are fragile, right? They're hard, and a lot of things have to go right, but you also have to create that, so we've got to keep our edge. We got to keep our edge as coaches, that we come in every day and grind to do the very best job we can to schematically, and then get those things taught and get the fundamentals taught and give our players an atmosphere where they can, we can get after their tail, but we can also love on them. And, so I think our players know that we care about them. And I think our guys, they came out and had a good practice yesterday. Tough Tuesday. That's all, they came out and they practiced, and it was a little rainy, which we probably need because it's probably going to be a little wet Saturday. And so it's all the cliches. I mean, we can't choke on the sugar. We can't, we gotta stay sharp and focused. Can't get the big head, all that stuff. But I believe in our players. I believe in their ability to focus and be hungry and keep an edge, because that's what it's going to take. And you can say what you want to, UAB's good, and everybody we play against is going to have really good players and really good coaches. So we've got to be who we are and keep hanging on to the things that have given us a chance to be successful. And that's preparation, hard work, and being the underdog and letting our effort go out there. We got to play harder than everybody else does. And and I think our kids really accept that and almost take pride and they bask in that. Look, we know that what other people are saying, and maybe we're, not as talented or whatever, but we're going to go win the game. We're going to go figure it out and get it done. So I think our kids really embrace that.